Hello to whoever is watching this. My name is Elena Stevens Deckard. I'm currently 24 years old and I'm a resident in Tompkinsville, Kentucky. As you can see, I'm in an office setting. This is my office in Tompkinsville. To give you a little background history, I work at Stevens Manufacturing Company, of course, here in Tompkinsville, like I said. My grandfather actually started this company a little over 60 years ago, and I have been fortunate enough to grow up in the same office building. I'm currently not in his office, but I'm pretty close to where his original desk was. After my grandfather's death, my uncle took over as CEO and president. Unfortunately, he passed away in '06, and then after his death, my father took over, and now me and my sister work here along with many families and friends. We have about 130 active employees, and of course we are looking to hire a lot more, but this is where I'm at. 40 hours a week, sometimes 50, full time in school. Actually, I'm just a little over 3 months pregnant right now, so my life is very busy, very hectic, but it's all good. So whenever I was reading this assignment, the first dilemma that came to my mind was one that actually occurred here at work. Like I said, I'm here every day, so it was easy for me to find something that to me was an ethical dilemma that I can relate to. But when my grandfather started this company, he taught my father the way he was taught. Pretty much, if you want to learn how to do something, you just jump right in, start learning, and you begin your learning curve. He thought this was the best way, the best technique. You get your hands dirty right away. Any troubles that you reach, you figure out how to do them yourself, of course with the help of others. But it was important for him to make sure that when he was teaching my father and my uncle that the virtues that or the personalities that they was learning as they was in the company was going to create a business that lasted, of course, a lifetime. One that our customers now and our customers in the future, they could rely on them to make sure that anything they received was going to be what they said it was going to be, the correct items, it was going to be exactly what they needed, and there was going to be a trust that they could share. But like I said, so one day there was a shorthand in our parts department. We normally rotate about 3 to 4 guys in the parts department on a daily basis, and this day we were shorthanded. So of course my dad says, "Elena, get in there," and I'm like, "Okay, great." So I walk to the empty desk. I go in and sit down. Of course, before I even sit down, the phone starts ringing. I answer the phone, and on the phone was just so happened to be one of our #1 customers. So I answer the phone, and the customer starts telling me about their issue that they're having with one of their vents. With their silo, but their vent is on top of their silo. There was cement or dust escaping from their vent, and the problem needed to be solved as soon as possible, just to prevent stuff from the EPA taking any action or any city ordinances or anything like that stopping the production that day for this concrete plant. So I ultimately decide right away what I thought the issue was, and it was just simply that the bags inside the dust collector needed to be replaced. After a period of time, they accumulate so much dust that it can't hold no more. Just when you vacuum your house and your bag gets full, what do? You change it out. So I went ahead with the customer's consent. I ran the order through, sent the items out that day for next day air, so that way the customer had them the next business day. Later on that day after lunch, just so happened I was going back through my notes, and I realized that I had sent out the wrong size bags. And of course, just a wave went over me, and I was so nervous. I was like, oh my goodness, okay. I just started thinking how I made this mistake, and I know mistakes are common, but to me, this mistake meant more because it just seemed like just it's like so much just like an elementary mistake that I shouldn't have made, and I was afraid to actually let down my father that day. I didn't have as much experience then as I do now, but I knew it was something I needed to fix. I did not want the customer to receive this product and realize that I had made the mistake, and I knew it, and I didn't correct it. I was afraid that that was going to be a bigger dilemma than me owning up to my mistake and sending out the correct items the moment I found out. So that's what I did. As soon as I found out, I actually consulted with one of my superiors who was working that day with me in parts. And I told them everything that I had done and what I had found out. And they agreed that I needed to send out the correct items right away and contact the customer to tell them what I had done. So I stepped up, was a big kid, called the customer and said, "Hey, I'm sorry, but I did make a mistake, but I want to fix it. Here's the correct tracking number. These are the correct bags that you are going to be sent out the next business day, because it's too late in the day to send it out the same day. But the shipping will be free, just as a little plus for my mistake, for the customer to go through the troubles that we went through. And I hope you forgive me. I made a mistake, but I owned up to it. I didn't want there to be a problem later on with if they found out that I did know and I didn't correct it. I know this just may seem like a small dilemma to some, but for me, it was a big step in who I am today as an employee at Stevens Manufacturing and as the person that I am to my coworkers. Like I said, my father runs us now, and I hope one day that I will step in his shoes as CEO. And I think it's very important that the principles that my grandfather established to my father and that my father is establishing to me is set on a campus basis, that all 130 employees know here that mistakes are going to happen, and that's fine, but to make sure that you own up to them, you take responsibility for them, and that you move forward from that point, that they are going to happen, but it's easier to own up to them than later on getting to the conclusion or to the dilemma that, it's going to take more work in the end to refix it than it would be at that point to correct your mistake. So ultimately, that's my dilemma. It's been very beneficial for me to work here on a daily basis. I learn something new every day. I'm fortunate enough that my husband also works here, and one of my aunts, and now I get the pleasure of working with my younger sister, who is also coming up in the business, that we can share the responsibilities together and feed off each other. But I've learned a lot about myself and the person that I want to be, the leader that I want to be, and ultimately, in the end, the company that I want to represent. When I go out, I want people to say, that is Elena, and she runs a great business, and the ethics and the virtues and the personality that she has is a company that I want to work with. And ultimately, that's it. So anyways, thanks for watching this. I hope you enjoyed.